of the sky, which in sable darkness glow, brighter in compassion's eyes, are the silent tears which flow. Sweet the fragrance of the fields, where abundant spices grow. Sweeter far is that which yields comfort to the sick and low. Grateful are those gentle dews on the greening grass which fall, far more grateful what renews comforts to the poor who call.
Good morning. I am so grateful that you are here. My name is Mel Fritchie, and I serve as president-elect of your Board of Trustees of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg. It is my delight to welcome you this morning, whether you are here at UUCS or joining us virtually. Thanks, sound guys. This is a welcoming congregation where everyone is welcome, just as we each are. There are many important announcements on the sheets entitled Connect at the back of your bulletin this morning. Please open your bulletin to see all that you can be a part of. But most importantly, please plan to attend these two important meetings coming up soon. And when I say plan to attend, I mean you plan to attend. 2. On Sunday, May 7th, following our morning service, the Mission Vision Covenant team will share with us an update on our process to develop a vision statement for our congregation. Please come. This process will shape the goals of our congregation for the next 5 years. Thank you to everyone who has poured so much energy into this process already. And on Sunday, June 11th, following our morning service, we will hold our annual congregational meeting. This is a time to elect new officers, vote on our new budget, and celebrate all we have done together as we launch into a new year of service. And there is much to celebrate. This is a vital and joyful gathering. Please plan to attend. Thank you for making this a place of love and kindness for each of us. We are so glad you are here.
Good morning. Today's chalice lighting is from Hildegard of Bingen, the breath of all the living. Varditas is the natural driving force toward healing and wholeness, the vital power that sustains all life's greenness. Veritas is the living and fiery essence that glows in the beauty of the fields. It speaks to the one who is listening. I shine in the water, I burn in the sun and the moon and the stars. Mine is that mysterious force of the invisible wind. I am the breath of all the living. Please turn now to hymn 27. Stand as you are desirous and able. Thank you.
I am that great and fiery force, sparkling in everything that lives, in shining up the river's course, in green egret glory gives. I shine and glitter on the seas, in burning sun and moon and stars, in unseen wind, in verdant trees. I breathe within, both near and far. And where I breathe there is no death, and meadows glow with beauty's rife. I am in all the Spirit's breath, the thundered word, for I am love.
And now, it is time for one of our cherished traditions, a place where we affirm that we are part of a whole, a loving, welcoming whole that helps us hold whatever brings us pain and helps us celebrate whatever brings us joy and happiness. Please come forward to drop a stone or a shell in the bowl to signify the sorrows that you need to share, to be held by those in this community, or a joy that you want to celebrate and allow us to celebrate with you. I will now drop a shell or stone in the water for those watching us from afar.
Oh, why you look so sad? Tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now, and don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see it through, 'cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess could make me love you less. I'll stand by you, I'll stand by you. Well, let nobody hurt you, I'll stand by you. So, if you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Come on and talk to me now. And hey, what do you got to hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm a lot like you. When you're standing at the crossroads, don't know which path to choose. Let me come along, 'cause even if you're wrong, I'll stand by you, I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you, I'll stand by you. Baby, even to your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, 'cause I'll never desert you. stand by you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Deb Williams, and I serve as chair of membership. Those of you folks that are going to join us this morning as members, come on up here, please. Let me introduce Kimberly Hall. She's shy, and that's okay. And now we have our sweet couple, Cole and Chandler Harrington.
Thanks for having us, everybody. That's all I got.
I'd also like to announce two more new members that aren't able to join us this morning. Paul Miller and Allison Reed. Now let's welcome our new members with congregation and the new member response that's in your bulletin. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg, joyfully welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. We pledge to support you on your journey as we hope you will support us in our own. We welcome you as an equal member of this church and of this Unitarian Universalist tradition.
And one day we will welcome others too. We offer you the warmth and comfort of this church community. We are grateful for your strengths and talents. We will strive to practice and demonstrate the oneness of humanity by sharing our joys and our sorrows, ever seeking to grow in kindness and compassion. We will walk together. We thank you. We will walk together.
Now let us all share in the reading of our covenant. We are a people of faith and hope. Together we covenant to strive to become our better selves, to honor both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of love beyond belief. And now let's welcome our new members. Now comes the time where we love to greet one another. Thank you, Jinx. Greet one another on Sunday mornings. Just be mindful, some folks may not really want to be touched, so ask before you hug or grab or whatever you want to do to them. And please don't scare our new members too much. Let's greet one another.
And you're still back and forth in your rooms? I'm so glad we still do this. Yeah, I get that. It's just different.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be in Florida for a week. We spent 2 weeks in Florida just to get some flying back and forth.
That's annoying.
Then we're going to fly to DC.
Nice.
Get my passport. Sarah's waiting to see if we have
I might have one of them in the car. I know I have one of them in the car. I don't know if I have the black white one. No, I have the disco. I have the disco. Anyway, thinking about bringing them today.
No worries.
But I do have the one. It's a Ford truck. I don't have both of them. Yep, both of them. Okay.
So, I have a question. We originally wanted to do the events for
They're not. They're not.
Is there a better alternative or is there just not?
I don't know any of the other ones. All I know is that like she's had multiple complaints to animal control. Apparently county doesn't do shit. She had a pig that died because she didn't get water for like 8 hours. She had a goat that got sick, same thing. The dog, she just lets get trampled on the ground. I mean, I already took one of the dogs from her, and I tried multiple times to help her. You know, she went in her thing and said that she was being bullied and her animals aren't abused, and she doesn't even have a farm. These animals are just at random people's houses. And like, apparently sometimes she'll just drop animals off and have a teenager walking the kids no supervision. I mean, like, the first time I saw an event of hers, it was November. She had all these reptiles out for like 3 hours with no heat. No, and the snakes all had scale points. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't know anything about birds. She told me that. I was like, I really just know about pigs. And I'm like, anyway, so yeah, no in the farm. I don't know. And it's so funny because I never named her directly, but like so many people knew who I was talking about. You know what I mean?
So, it was a correct like,
Which is weird, because like I didn't say her name, I didn't say any, you know. But people knew, because people knew. Oh well. Yeah, but I don't know any. I mean, I'll try to figure something out. Yeah, that's all it's
he's also very conscientious.
good.
He'll want to be home.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I called my friend that is over at Hub City Farmers Market, and I was like, I don't think they have insurance. So they called her, and she's like, I know what you're calling about. I'm just canceling all my trips. Because you don't have insurance. Anyway, and I bet none of them go to the vet. I'm just saying.
All right,
Guilty
well, good to see
conscience.
you.
I'll check my car in a little bit for the. I'll play it louder. I don't think they really exactly want to sit down anyway. Hi.
everybody. You know, it's lovely to belong to a community where probably people would come for an hour of that, if that's all that was happening. It's too bad we have to always say, come on, people, sit down, sit down. All righty. So now is the time where we share our resources with this community in hopes that we can help it thrive, grow, evolve, and be all that each and every one of us wish for it to be. All of your gifts and talents and resources are welcome and appreciated. It's really lovely to be a part of a community where so many people are actively engaged and invested, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Now's the time where we share those material resources, because this is a world that requires those to keep running and moving. Thank you.
Broken windows and empty hallways, pallid moon and a sky streaked with gray. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Scarecrows dressed in the latest styles, frozen smiles will chase love away. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Lonely, so lonely, tin can at my feet. I think I'll kick it down the street, but that's no way to treat a friend. Right before me, the signs implore me, help the needy and show them the way. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today.
Join me in silence. After the service today, we will have a talkback session. Talkback session is a gathering after the service where you can grill the preacher on what they just said. It's a practice that comes out of our humanist tradition, a very old practice from the last century of the UU movement. We have so many congregational meetings and dialogues and things going on that we can't do this every Sunday. We try to do it once a month. So after the service, after folks have been greeted at the door, if you would like to stay and ask questions about this Sunday or the last several Sundays or anything, you're very welcome to join in that conversation. We'll just gather here at the front. Everybody's welcome. And then after that, if you are a teenager in 6th to 12th grades, you are welcome to go with Ann and with me to walk over to Moe's for lunch today. We try to have a gathering once a month for our youth, and this month we're going to walk to lunch. So you're very welcome to come. And if you're not here right now, I don't blame you, but you're welcome to come to lunch. So just meet us here a little afternoon to walk to lunch. Purpose. We've been talking this month about vitality, the life force that we can feel within us and that we perceive all around us. I mean, y'all, look at this morning. What an unbelievable morning. And how much I hope our gratitude expands as we reckon seriously with the unfolding phenomena of our world. Ice melt and floods, sea level rise and migration. That when we are blessed with a morning like this, wherever we perceive that blessing to come from, that we receive it with gratitude and feel that vitality that is in the world all around us, infusing our lives too. I want to invite us to just touch again that life force within us. This doesn't have to be complicated. It's just our heartbeat, just the pulse of the blood flowing through our veins. Take a moment to feel that in your own body, that truth of life pulsing within you. And if you don't feel it, if you feel pained or numb, you can borrow it from the verdant world around us. The trees that you see, the grounds all around us have been tended by hands in this sanctuary for decades to speak to us. And this morning they offer us the vibrancy of their life. Our life is not separate from the surrounding world, and you can call on the life around you to infuse your life this morning. Feel it. 2 weeks ago, we celebrated spring and Passover, Easter, Ramadan, all of these high holy days from our surrounding traditions. And on that day, I pose to you what I think is the deepest and hardest question of our lives. Not large metaphysical questions, not questions of ultimate reality, all of which are fascinating and important that I love. I love to delve into. But the incisive question of human existence, what do I do next? What do I do in my life? How do I deal with whatever lies before me and find just the next step, just the way through? And how do I make sense of all of those choices over the span of my life? How do I create a life out of the simple question, what am I supposed to do? We think about our life purpose. It seems to me that we all face a first requirement. That the first purpose of our life is to meet our needs, to have what we need to eat, what we need to live, what we need for shelter, what we need to sustain us. It's so basic. And in our world, once we reach a certain level of stability, a certain level of comfort, it can seem almost something to be forgotten. Last week we looked out of these windows, these unstained glass windows, at the beauty of the world around us. And I want to ask you to look out of these unstained glass windows once more, through the beauty of these leaves, at the neighborhood and city around us. And remember, the question of what we will eat and whether we will have medicine, whether we will have shelter, whether we will have kindness, the basic things to sustain our life are urgent questions for many of us every day. The primary purpose of our life is just to sustain our life, to find a way to keep ourselves going. And when we have found enough of a foothold for ourselves, we can feel the pressure from our neighbor next to us, whose hand we might need to take, who we can offer support to, so that they can find that foothold too. The necessity of sustaining life moves us to preserve the vitality that we feel in our very heartbeat, to keep ourselves going the best we can. But once we have that need met, look around at this world, and there are things that awaken us. Things that we may find energy in, things that we love. And the grind of just surviving falls back with the energy of that which enchants us, that which draws us, that which we love. Now, I would imagine that every person here had a parent or a guardian or a school counselor who insisted that they get that practical job so that they could have their basic needs met. And sure enough, they were not entirely wrong. We have to find a way to sustain ourselves. But if no one else has said it to you yet in your life, and I hope that that is not the case, then please hear from me now. And I don't care how old you are. If there is something calling to your heart, something speaking to you with energy, something pulling you forward to do, however implausible it seems, it is time to do it. The world is not just a world of survival. That is basic, yes, and we can't neglect it for ourselves or for our neighbor. But there is a world of vitality and energy that pulls on us. A world that captures our imagination and our hearts. It is time to claim that, to step into that, and to support each other in doing it. to find a greater purpose born of love, of passion, and to run the risks that accompany it. To be enough of a network of support for each other that we can bear those risks reasonably, and that we can even fail in our endeavors and try again. This is something that our interconnected world offers us if we will just live in the interconnectedness of it, to make a path for each other. I asked you to look out at the neighborhood. And last week, a brilliant team of members of our congregation called to that neighborhood that surrounds us and said to youth in this neighborhood, if you love art, if you love creativity, if you love beauty and dream of making it, adorn the walls of this sanctuary with your work. And let us support and celebrate you in your dream, in your love. If you didn't come back for the reception at 1:30 last Sunday, baby, you missed it. It was beautiful, quiet and moving, people flowing. My favorite moment were to see 3 of our members, serious-minded people of the world, people who have been everywhere, seen every museum, gone every place, do serious work, standing looking at one of these pictures, marveling at it and talking about it, thinking through it, fusing their love and attention into the love and attention that this student shared. And you could feel the upwelling of energy in the room. If there is something that calls to you in your life, that summons you with passion and love, baby, do it. And call on your interconnected universe to support you in this endeavor. When we go deep into our passion, deep into our love, and when we find ways to enact, to bring to life, to bring into being what only we can do because of our deep giftedness, when we have succeeded one way or the other in expressing what we love very most in the world, for some of us, a third step happens. It is powerful. It is insistent. Sometimes it is terrible. It is the prick of conscience in our minds, in our hearts, to take what we have built of our lives, all that we have done so well, and to share it in ways that are impossible and difficult, even very dangerous. This week we saw a man stand in a docket in Russia. A man who has built a life as a journalist and an activist, building a life of a family, building a life of a patriot trying to serve his country. A man who spoke out against the war in Ukraine as an unjust war that had to be challenged. And as he stood there convicted for speaking out, he said, I knew a year ago when I used my voice and my skills, my gifts, I knew a year ago that I would be here today. And when those men in black uniforms and black masks came running after my car, I knew I would be standing here today. But the love that I have for this people and for this country insists that I speak the truth. And I take what comes. Terrible. A terrible question of conscience, born of deep love for the vitality of this world. Consider in your life through all that you love, that insistent voice, that compulsion in your heart, that gut-wrenching movement in your being, where some work is undone, where some need is unmet, where a voice has not been raised. What is it? What is it that your very love of life summons you to do? Though you may wish with all your might that you weren't summoned, that you didn't hear the voice. I think of Hildegard of Bingen, this woman in 12th century Rhineland, now Germany. She was a woman who found a way to have her needs met in a world where women were treated as property, treated without agency, where violence against women was pervasive and institutionalized in religion and politics and literature. And she found a place for herself, and her gifts as a leader emerged not only for the community that she organized, but for others that she organized to provide for other women, to provide haven, sanctuary, food, well-being, education for whole communities of women in an inhospitable world, meeting the basic needs of existence for herself and her interconnected community. And when in that position of leadership, needs were met, her joy in life, her love of vitality, of this deep truth of our existence emerged through innumerable musical compositions, still preserved today, through tomes of writing, when many around her were illiterate, through art, through healing, through work with plants, an enormous upwelling of vision and beauty from that deep wellspring of life in her. And as she became known as this person of immense energy, she looked at the power structures of her day and felt the pressure of conscience. She turned all of her energy and learning and fame into correspondence, letters with popes and kings challenging their rules, challenging the things that they were doing to the people that she so loved, speaking out against them. And she spoke with such fervor that people summoned her from her convent to come and speak to them at a time that it was illegal for women to speak out loud. 4 preaching tours across her life, where she moved from congregation to congregation, preaching and speaking, offering a different way. I hope that the prick of conscience that comes to you, the call of conscience that comes to you, pulls you not only into difficulty and even danger, but into sealing, crushing, glass ceiling blasting joy. Because the body of work Hildegard offers us is only part of the legacy he's bequeathed us. It is her life itself. It is such a profound symbol to us of what our own lives can be if we live in that vitality and offer support to one another as a community. Look at how we can burst through the bonds of our lives. What a witness to human life she is. I think of Georgia O'Keeffe, a woman who scraped out a living in New York City in the early 20th century through world wars and depression, trying to make it as an artist on those streets and as a woman artist. And as she carved out a meager living, she developed a repertoire of art that evoked the most beautiful aspects of our organic world. Flowers and ferns and lakesides, all of the beautiful vitality of our earth. In paintings and drawings that could not be ignored, that male critics tried to over-sexualize to sideline. And she said, y'all are seeing what y'all are seeing, but I'm painting flowers. She could have done that her whole life and still been one of the most prominent artists of the 20th century. Remember today. But conscience moved her, strange conscience, to move away from East Coast fame, from the big city and the money, to travel to the deserts of New Mexico. And there the energy and vitality of life welled up in her, in a landscape nowhere near as verdant as she had known at Lake George, nowhere near as verdant as what Hildegard had known. A landscape of bones and erosion, of rock and sand, and in it she felt life surging. And she stayed. She moved herself as far away from money and power as she could, and her dealer and her partner and her friends made the long trip out to say, "What are you doing? Why are you leaving? You have got to come back. We miss you, we love you, and the money." And instead, she built a home in a landscape that looked unforgiving, a landscape that looked like it couldn't meet the needs of any person. A home that became a home for herself and for whole colonies of artists, whole gatherings of people. And she developed an art not only of vitality and green, not only of beautiful flowers, but an art of skeletons, an art of skulls, an art of arid landscapes, an art that should be an art of death, but in which she perceived and communicates to us vibrant life. Look at the picture on the front of your bulletin. Can you feel the spiral power of life pouring out of that image? It is all aridity. It is all absence of organic life, and it speaks the depth of our universe, the swirling power of energy that is our vitality. This remarkable body of work that she offers us is only half of the legacy she bequeaths us, because Georgia O'Keeffe's life shows us what it is to follow conscience against all odds and predictions, and to render to the world beauty and independence, the power of choosing our lives with integrity, and the symbol of what that offers us. She shows us not only what it means to be a woman, to claim freedom in the world, and by God to make a place for it, but what it means to be a person born of a legacy of colonialism and empire, finding a way to become rooted on this continent. A person no longer borrowing from another continent to make meaning of their life, but drawing energy and beauty out of the very heart of this land into her life, and calling us to do the same. What it means to find belonging here instead of imposition and domination. Look at the power of this woman's life. I think of Hildegard of Bingen. I think of George O'Keeffe. And I think of us. We come here gathered out of need, each one of us. Some of us come here because we need food, and that's a good reason to come. Some of us come here because we need shelter of one kind or another. That's a good reason to come. About once a week, members of our staff find people sleeping against the side of the building here who have found sanctuary at our church, needing food and shelter in a world that is harsh and difficult. We come with need. And I hope that when you come and when your need is met, you find also love. A love not only given to you, but a love coming out of you. And we urge that. We talk about sharing our gifts, pouring out our energy, giving all that we have to share with each other. Because of the beauty and wonder that can create. Look at what it can create. Look at the beauty and wonder that we can create. We do all of this, gather to support each other and to summon each other to live in the love of our lives for one reason above all. So that you can hear the call of conscience. In whatever way it comes to you, however young and old you are, what is asked of your life in a way that is asked of no one else? What way do you need to choose that is so different from everyone else's? That even those who love you most will look at you as if you have lost it. But you feel that pull within you. The prick in your mind. The burning in your heart. The churning in your gut. Imagine not only the work you will create if you say yes, but the life you will show us, just how vital life can be. We are here to help you answer that call.
Creative love, our thanks we give, that this our world is incomplete, that struggle breeds our will to live, that work awaits our hands and feet, that we are not yet fully wise, that we are in the making still, as friends who share one enterprise and strive to blend with nature's will. What through the future long delay, and still what falls with daily cool, it gives us that for which to pray, a field for toil and faith and hope. Since what we choose is what we are, and what we love we yet shall be, the goal may
Voditas is the natural driving force toward healing and wholeness, the vital power that sustains all life's greatness. It speaks, I am the breath of all the living.
In our heartbeat, we can feel that vitality. And it asks us to sustain it, to live. And that heartbeat calls us to what we love and urges us to be brave and embrace it. Do what you love. And if we listen to our hearts, we will hear it also ask to give our lives away.
We have spent time together in these homes.